Today is 968 I come here to lessons on learn. I'm learning how to support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about cost of inaction. Cost of inaction. I think that we need to understand what it means. Because sometimes when we do not understand cost of inaction, we don't take action. Because a lot of times what we really think about is risk of taking action, but we always forgetting sometimes to really emphasize the importance of cost of inaction. Because cost of inaction is much, much higher than risk of action. Now, of course, risk of action is real, and it could be massive risk, but cost of inaction is much, much bigger. And you potentially can carry that cost of inaction for the rest of your life. Consequences of cost of inaction is leading to major regrets in life. So that means that we need to understand that when we're really making decisions, we're not supposed to consider just risk of action, but we always need to consider what are the consequences, what are the cost of inaction. So today we'll really discuss a little bit more, not fully, but really start to understand, okay, what means that cost of inaction? And what kind of things we need to consider when we're thinking about cost of inaction? So number one, we need to understand that we're able to be proactive or reactive. So that means that everything in our life, we're able to be proactive. So what that means, even in health. So it means that there's a beautiful saying, an ounce of prevention is better than pound of healing. So that means that you potentially could have some sickness that could come up. So, but if you prevent the sickness, that you do your best to prevent it, it's much better, because when you get sick, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of resources to heal it. But if you prevent that, sometimes it requires just a little bit effort just to make sure that you're able to prevent it. That means allocating just a little bit every single day to exercise, just a little bit of a better diet could lead to prevent everything. So that means that we're able to react when something comes up, or we're able to say, what do I need to do to prevent things to happen in the first place? It could be in business, it could be in life, it could be in health, but we always ask, okay, how I could become proactive that I not be reactive. Number two is a long-term consequences. I think that's we're able to say, okay, if I will take that action and I will fail, this is potential big consequences. But when you take action, those most time lead to short-term consequences. Of course, there are some actions that by accident did, of course, those could lead in long-term consequences as well, because accidents could lead to long-term. But when you think about making decisions, when you take action regarding life, when you think about business, those risks that you're taking are short-term consequences. Because people don't remember. People have a lot of times short memory. They always remember your last thing. Now, of course, every single rule has exceptions, but in general, everything leads to short-term consequences. But when you think about cost of inaction a lot of times lead to long-term consequences, because we start regretting, we lost opportunities, we lost so many other things. So we need to be very careful about cost of inaction. Is that we always need to consider, okay, what are the long-term consequences of really cost of inaction? Could be in health, because it leads to major sickness rather than you are able to catch. Then we had discussed already that you're able to prevent something. It could be finances, not saving for the rainy day, and then something serious happens. Now you don't have any money, you need to borrow. That creates a massive stress. Or relationships. That means that you do not address some foundational things that is not working, and you do not address boundaries, and after that it creates massive resistance and massive trouble in the family and massive conflicts. We need to address everything at the beginning, just to make sure that we do not create something bad out of it. Number three is opportunity cost. So that means cost of inaction lead to missed opportunities, and every single opportunity is a door to another opportunity. So when you think about really missed opportunity, a lot of times people think about a small opportunity that they lost. But I think that a lot of times that one missed opportunity could open bigger and bigger and bigger and massive doors. So that means that one missed opportunity, it might be that you missed on massive opportunity that could be broad because of that small opportunity. Because sometimes we are not appreciative of small opportunity, will not get big opportunity. So that means that cost of inaction could be delaying you to really opening that massive door opportunity. And at the same time, we can potentially not advance in career because people say, oh, I just want to move and find another job, but I will start looking for another month, after a month, after a year, after whatever it is. It could be that we are procrastinating. So that means we are not advancing our career because of our cost of inaction, because we do not see how that influences our life, not taking action. Number 4 is risk management. So that means uncertainty. So that means, of course, that we taking action. And of course, when you take action, a lot of times it allows you to manage your risk better because you're able to reflect, okay, what's working, what doesn't work. Because a lot of times we really do not consider that taking action sometimes could be the best risk management tool, because when you take action, that you take just a little bit of this action, this little action, and you understand more and you become much more aware, so flexible, adaptable, you're able to manage your risks more. But when you do take action on one thing and one thing only, you do not know the whole field of opportunities and different things. And at the same time, preparedness. That means that we're able to be prepared for potential problems when you really take actions more. When the cost of inaction leads that you do not have experiences, you do not have reflections, you're not getting prepared, because cost of inaction is unpreparedness. Because if you always thinking about taking action, but you not take action, you're not able to fail, not able to learn, not able to be prepared for new opportunities to come in. Number 5 is mental, emotional well-being, physical well-being, spiritual well-being. So well-being will be highly influenced by your cost of inaction. First is stress and anxiety. Why people are stressed? Why people have anxiety? A lot of times is that we do not take action. We know that we need to take action, but we don't take action. And that creates a massive stress because you are not aligning your desires with your actions. You might potentially be saying one thing, but you do another thing. And that the cost of inaction leads to emotional stress. So it means that when you take action, now you are much better sometimes to take action, even though that you are failing, when you're not getting results, but you're taking action, that's really allows to remove all that emotional stress. And of course, the taking action leads to empowerment. So cost of inaction is not just giving you stress, but taking away all those positive emotions as well that you potentially could have while you're taking action. Number 6 is financial implications. That means cost of delay. Like, one of the best way to really calculate is that is investments. Like 1 year in the long run of delay could cost you a lot of money. And I was just to do with a calculation. And if you invest $10,000 at 10% interest rate for 40 years, and you invest exactly the same amount, $10,000 for 10% year interest for 41 years, the difference will be massive, 45,000 or even more. I forgot how much it was, but it was a massive difference. So that means your initial investment was $10,000, but in 1 year, the difference was $45,000. That means that cost of delay of 1 year could cost you a lot of money, and just from $10,000. If a people could invest even more, that gap, that difference will be even bigger. So of course, everyone understands that the compound effect really matters. And we understand that we need to start earlier, that cost on inaction will dictate how much you will lose money or other resources. And at the same time, we need to understand that budgeting is very important, because if we are not able to really think about, okay, where my money goes, where my leaking are, so when you fix those leaks, and then of course, because you fix leaks, you have more money, now able to put that money into investments, and of course get, as I said, more money in the future. And number 7 is personal growth. Personal growth. I think that every single person wants to become the best version of themselves. But sometimes we don't take action to become the person that we want to become. And of course, because of that, we don't achieve our goals, and we're not able to set new goals, work on new goals, and really achieve that new aspirations, inspirations, motivations, whatever it might be. So cost of inaction is one thing that delays our personal growth, delays our improvement and development. At the same time, it doesn't allow us to learn and adapt because action leads to successes and successes leads to lessons. Actions lead to mistakes and failures, and mistakes and failures teaches you tenfold. So cost in action is a massive no-no in our lives because I know that I haven't done that. I know that I delayed because I was watching it a couple days ago, like it says entrepreneur and entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is 90% is doing, 10% of thinking. While entrepreneur, 90% thinking, 10% of doing. So cost of inaction is for entrepreneurs is one of the key parts that you need to work on. And I think that sometimes we're able to ask, okay, how much time do I invest in executing and how much time do I invest on thinking, develop myself? Because I could say that I do my time budgeting quite some time and quite often. And what I found that if I'm not careful, I invest majority of my time on developing myself, forgetting what really moves the needle forward. And what the needle is moved by is by action. So it means cost of inaction sounds that you don't do anything. But cost of inaction could be based on what you're doing as well. So that means reading books, attending seminars, listening to workshops could be an inaction. In action regarding your life, in action regarding your business, in action on something that you really want to do. So it sometimes could be confusing. So it means inaction is personal development in some cases, if you overdo it. So it means we need to learn how to execute 90% to have that risk of action and really making sure that we move the needle forward. So I hope that you reflect as well where your time goes. And understand that if that activity is actually an action, if that action is actually an action, because I truly believe that every single person could find that the activities that they do is actually not action. This is a motion that you do. It's not saying that you're running on a treadmill, you're not getting anywhere. You're running in the same spot. And some actions that you do, some activities that you do is the motion that you run in the same spot. So we need to find a way how we're able to take action and move ourselves forward. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.